Ever seen a girl who lives with her heart outside her chest? Or someone aging 10 times faster than normal? Today, we'll look at the world's most amazing real-life stories of people who turned the impossible into inspiration. From unique to the unusual, each of them carries a story that'll shake your soul, challenge your beliefs, and make you rethink everything about human limits. So, let's begin with number 15, Caitlyn. We always think we're not good or cute, but then someone like Caitlyn walks in and reminds us what resilience really looks like. Born with a condition similar to Pierre-Robin syndrome, she grew up with an extremely small lower jaw, and doctors warned she might never speak or eat. She endured surgery after surgery, including one where her rib bone was used to rebuild her jaw. Sadly, not every procedure worked, and she's carried more pain than most people her age. But Caitlyn kept moving. She learned to talk, to sing, to swallow without feeding tubes. She became athletic, artistic, musical, mastering drums, piano, and marimba with fierce determination. Her life could have shrunk around her diagnosis, but she refused that path. Now 27, she's studying criminal justice at Utah State University, hoping to help others the way she once needed help. She never fit the mold. She built her own, and she stands proudly inside it. Number 14, Shantel Banks. Most people would run screaming from a rat. Shantel welcomes them in with open arms and lets them sleep in her bed. Living in Maryland, she shares her small home with 19 domesticated rats, each with a name, personality, and place in her heart. They nibble on snacks at her table, ride on her shoulders, and even take turns cuddling with her at night. To her, they're not pests. They're her family. She started with one rat during a difficult time in her life and soon discovered they brought her calm, love, and connection. Her husband isn't as thrilled, but he's come to accept them because they make Shantel so happy. She says rats are clean, affectionate, and far more loyal than people give them credit for. While the world sees filth, Shantel sees friendship. Her house may squeak, scurry, and smell a little different, but for her, it's full of love. Number 13, Doug Forbes. Well, this story is 14 years old. We don't know or have found anything recent about this guy. But back then, Doug lived louder than most people with 2 full legs ever did. Born with sacral agenesis, his spine didn't form correctly, and doctors amputated his legs when he was still a baby. Doug learned to move on his hands, build muscle where others didn't expect it, and treat challenges like playgrounds. He loved sports, thrived in wheelchair basketball, and pushed himself into everything from racing to advocacy. He volunteered to teach able-bodied teens what disability actually felt like, breaking stereotypes with patience and humor. Doug had a girlfriend and dreams of teaching special needs kids, showing them that their lives didn't shrink just because their bodies were different. Doug lived boldly, proof that being born without legs didn't make his world smaller. It just forced him to build it differently, and he did it with grit, laughter, and heart. Number 12, Paula Sojo. Life is not as kind to all of us. Some of us feel the floor disappear before we even understand what's happening. For Paula, it began in 2020, when Crohn's disease ripped through her life like a storm. Her health collapsed so fast, she barely recognized herself. 8 months in the hospital, 14 surgeries, and then the words no 22-year-old wants to hear, she needed a proctocolectomy and an ostomy bag. Paula broke. She imagined feeling ugly forever, carrying a bag of poo on her body. But 2 months after surgery, something inside her shifted. She picked up her phone, opened TikTok, and told the world the truth. People listened, followed, cheered. 129,000 strangers became her community. Paula even began making ostomy covers that matched her outfits, bright colors, patterns, things that made her smile. It felt like it was part of me, she said. That's the moment she reclaimed her body, her life, her beauty, all of it. Number 11. Jay Walker. When she was just 15, she went blind in a matter of hours without any kind of warning. Jay Walker had already lost her taste and smell from strange swelling episodes doctors couldn't explain. But in December 2018, everything spiraled. Her face swelled again, pressure building behind her eyes until the world went dark. 4 hours. That's all it took. Doctors told her the blindness was permanent and no one could explain why. Jay's life was shattered, but she refused to stay on the ground. She learned new skills, adapted to a world she could no longer see, and kept chasing a future she could still feel. Now 21, she studies in college and plans to write a book about her journey. Every struggle, every tear, every moment she forced herself to keep moving. She wants to help others find hope in impossible places. I know how I want to feel, she said. Happy, successful, fulfilled. And she's walking toward that feeling every day. Number 10. Courtney Walden. Life is like a puzzle. If a single piece goes here or there, most people, without trying, simply quit because it's the easiest thing they can do. But Courtney Walden didn't. In 2016, a campfire accident left her with burns covering 40% of her face and body, pain so fierce it nearly took everything. 51 days in the hospital, endless grafts, and then the heartbreak of her marriage falling apart. Suddenly, she was alone with her daughter, medical bills over $2 million, and no income. Most would have folded under that weight, but Courtney rose slowly, painfully, and bravely. A local church stepped in, building her a home and giving her somewhere safe to breathe again. She learned to live with her scars and started sharing her journey to help others understand that surviving isn't just healing, it's rebuilding. Courtney didn't ask for pity. She asked for strength, and she found it piece by piece until her life started fitting together again. Number 9. Stephanie. Some people are born fighting, and Stephanie's been swinging since age 3. That's when doctors diagnosed her with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a disease that typically only affects boys. They told her mother she wouldn't make it to 7. She's now 27. Her spine curved into an S, and instead of surgery, doctors installed a halo, a circular frame drilled into her skull with 15 screws. It was meant to help her breathe, not make her beautiful. She calls it a gift. People used to stare. She used to care. But now, she owns every inch of her metal crown. Her walker gives her independence. Her words give others strength. She posts content, tells her story, and shuts down pity with pure confidence. It's just a bad day, she says. Not a bad life. When people say she's 1 in 50 million, they're right. But not because of the diagnosis. It's because of the grit. Number 8. Prince and Love. This is a 9-year-old story of twin brothers who survived what many believed was impossible. Prince and Love were born conjoined at the stomach, sharing a liver, bladder, intestines, and fused pelvic bones. Their tiny bodies were intertwined in ways that made surgery feel like a gamble no one wanted to lose. But in December 2017, when they were 15 months old, surgeons at Wadia Children's Hospital in Mumbai took the chance and gave them a future. Hours of careful separation turned 2 lives into 2 paths. A year later, they were thriving, eating on their own, learning to sit, smile, and explore freely. Their family celebrated each milestone as a victory, each breath as a reminder of how precious second chances can be. Even now, their story stands as proof that courage isn't always loud. It's sometimes in the quiet work of doctors, the steady faith of parents, and the tiny hands of 2 boys learning life all over again. Number 7. Kala Kaiwi. Kalakaiwi isn't trying to blend in. He doesn't want to be normal. His body is a living sculpture, layered with meaning and pain and pride. Over 75% of his skin is inked. His tongue is split down the middle. He has more than 70 piercings, stretched lobes, and subdermal implants that give his forehead a horned appearance. But none of it is for shock. For Kaiwi, it's culture. It's heritage. It's personal. A proud Hawaiian, he views body modification as an ancient language, a way of wearing identity on the outside. Nearly all his piercings were done by his own hand, and every line of ink tells part of his story. His look is intense, no doubt, but there's nothing performative about it. He isn't trying to provoke. He's simply showing you who he is, without apology, without shame. Kaiwi lives his truth on full display. For him, this is totally normal. Number 6. The real-life Barbie. Some girls grow up wanting to be Barbie. Bibi Bugatti became her on her own terms. Born in the Netherlands, Bibi always leaned toward bold. Makeup, glam, fillers, curves. It didn't sit well with the people around her. She got her first procedure at 17. By 27, she'd spent over 50,000 euros on cosmetic work. But she didn't stumble into it. She crafted it. This was never about pleasing anyone. It was power, built lip by lip. She moved to Dubai, cut ties with anyone who judged her, and embraced her full Barbie era. Her look isn't about likes. It's about control. Bright blonde hair, sculpted features, a body that speaks volumes. Bibi isn't hiding. She's expressing. They hated how I looked, she says. I wanted to be different. While others blended in, Bibi chose to stand out. Her beauty isn't traditional. It's deliberate, sharp, unapologetic, and she wears it like armor. Number 5. Troy James. Well, some people have talent. Troy James has something stranger, an unnatural ability. This Canadian contortionist bends, folds, and moves like he's missing bones. Elbows twist backward, knees bend sideways, and somehow, it all makes sense in his body. As a kid, Troy didn't even know he was different. He thought everyone could move like him, until the teasing started. Weird, they called him. He started hiding it. Then high school hit, and new friends encouraged him to own it. That's when everything shifted. Troy began performing in parks, earning money for college. People stopped calling him weird. They called him gifted. Doctors online speculate Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but Troy's never been diagnosed. He doesn't care much for labels. What others saw as freakish, he turned into fame, landing roles in horror films like The Void. He doesn't just move his body, he moves expectations. What once made him ashamed is now his legendary signature. Troy James didn't conform to the norm. He rewrote it, bone by bone. Number 4. Lola. Well, now, this is just unbelievable. But for Lola, it's her truth. She lives her life as a dog, not as a joke, not in costume, as a lifestyle. Puppy play helps her escape anxiety and reconnect with comfort. She eats from bowls, wears a tail clipped to her shorts, and sleeps on a dog bed during the day. She enjoys toys, loves ear scratches, and responds to commands like sit or good girl. Her partner, Henrik, supports it completely, feeding her, playing, and caring. They're not putting on a show. This isn't a kink. It's a connection. It took time for the family to understand. Her friend Riley was confused, but respectful. Online trolls bark at her in public or send invasive messages. But Lola doesn't break. She's found a small but real community that values mental health, personal freedom, and trust. Henrik stays beside her, steady and safe. I'm just doing what helps me feel okay, she says. And in that honesty, she's found peace and joy. Number 3. Kathy Jung. Kathy didn't just break a record. She reshaped her entire body to do it. With a waist that measures just 15 inches, she holds the world record for the smallest waist ever recorded on a living adult. That isn't a typo. For most people, it's an impossible figure. For Kathy, it's the result of decades of tight-lacing corsets. What started as a fascination with Victorian fashion slowly became a lifestyle. She wears corsets nearly full-time, eating, sleeping, and living in them. Her silhouette is so extreme it's almost surreal. Some find it beautiful, others unsettling. But Kathy doesn't care. She calls it dedication, not obsession. Her figure has made her a fascination at fashion events, documentaries, and body modification circles. But she's not trying to please anyone else. Her waist, her rules, and whether people stare in awe or confusion, she's proud of what she's built. It took years of discomfort, patience, and grit, but she made herself unique. Number 2. Bella Roberts. Some folks hide when the world stares. Bella stares right back. She has Hennekam syndrome, a rare form of lymphedema that causes her entire body to swell, from head to toe. There's no part of her that isn't affected. Her limbs, her face, even her back hold fluid. Her body can't drain. People throw cruel names, Michelin Man, Popeye, but Bella doesn't blink. "I'm not fat, I'm swollen," she says with a laugh. It's not defiance, it's just the truth. Walking is hard. Clothes never fit right. But what Bella lacks in mobility, she makes up for in raw presence. She doesn't hide her condition on social media. She puts it front and center. Her dream? To be the first disabled woman to win a BAFTA for directing. Not in spite of her body, but with it. Her life isn't tragic. It's fierce, funny, swollen, and 100% her own. Bella doesn't need your sympathy. Number 1. Asha Zulu Mandela. Asha isn't just the record holder for the world's longest dreadlocks. She's a walking monument to self-expression. Her locks measure over 33 feet long, and for her, they're not just hair. They are spiritual, sacred. She's been growing them for more than 25 years, and says cutting them would feel like cutting off her soul. Originally from Tobago, but living in Atlanta, Asha's path hasn't been smooth. Her own mother disapproved so strongly, she cut off contact for 2 years, and even said she regretted raising her. Asha stood tall anyway. Today, her mother is one of her biggest supporters. Asha and her husband wash the massive mane weekly. It takes 2 days to dry. But she doesn't complain. Instead, she built a business around it, selling her own line of natural hair products. Asha's story is about more than hair. It's about pride, culture, and refusing to shrink when others try to cut you down. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you very soon.